Hi, it's Richard here from the OPA Hub with the first in our video series of what's new in release 18A. 18A, of course, is the first release of 2018. I'll just pull up the version dialog and you can see there it is. Release 27 with its embedded browser of Internet Explorer 11 and all the other stuff. So this is the version we're talking about today. And what we're going to look at is a very small but very significant enhancement as to how one can manage creating interview screens using values that need to be shown in a list. So let's take a business example, however bizarre it might be. I'm running a restaurant and I'm running a chicken restaurant that serves multiple levels of spiciness. And in the back office, we talk about the number of grams, so 400 grams, 500 grams, 300 grams of spice mix. But on the menu, we have different choices for our customers. And we're going to build a nice little kiosk where the customer can choose mild or strong or one of the other spice settings. And in the back office, we know how many grams of spice mix to add. Well, just because spicy chicken restaurants are all the rage here. So now let's add our third level, and because we're a spicy chicken restaurant, the default will be even higher. So if you don't ask, you get the full Monty. So basically what I've done is I've included 3 values in my rule that I probably will need to display to my end users at some point. And in the old days, I would have had to do that manually by creating a value list or adding them to the screen. So let's go to create a new screen and see the enhancement. And let's edit the name of the screen so that my customers can choose their sauce. And I'm going to add the input item. There we are. The attribute is on the screen now. It's currently as a simple text box. Let's change it to a drop-down. We get our typical warning that there's no values. So let's go ahead and look at the values. See the new button here. When I click it, I retrieve the values from the Word document, which is pretty awesome. Of course, I can then just test my project. See how my screen works. Looks very good. I can see all my values. Fine. And aside from this simple example, I'm going to go back in just a moment and make some editing to see how this new functionality copes with changes made after the initial import. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to add another level because our customers really like the extra spicy level. I'm running out of names here. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to revalidate and then I'm going to head off back into the screen. At first glance, when I look at the values in the screen, I can see the old values, but if I click the button again, I retrieve the extra value, which is pretty cool. So it's not a dynamic update really, but at least I can at some point then translate it into a value list, and I can go ahead and test this. And it still works. Let's go back and add one final value. And then we'll change the control type and see how it copes with that as well. What else would come after this? Well, if you like it really spicy, I suppose the only level left to you is right. Okay. And let's change the value again. And off we go. Validate and back to our screen. We know that if we debug now, it's going to work fine. Let's change to a fixed list and see how it copes with that. I will need to go back and display the value and click the values again, and I see the new value in the fixed list. So even multiple changes to control type and values doesn't seem to phase this functionality one bit, which is pretty cool. And of course I can use these in my static default for my default value for my sauce level, for my spice level, which is pretty cool. So it's a minor thing, but it certainly does improve my workflow when working with screens and interviews. That's it. See you next time.